We will want to watch it later. Okay. Well, welcome to everybody who might be listening on YouTube. My name's John Lobdell. I do poetry 6 o'clock every Wednesday with some friends of mine, and then I put it on YouTube. So I did not actually write a poem this week. I tried to this morning, but I didn't quite finish it. So I'll have it by next time. So I'll just read a couple of mine from my newer book. And oh, wait a minute. I can do my little eye thing so I can get grounded. Barbara, you did not do this. You hear a loud crashing noise. Okay, as I was saying, I did not write a new one, so I'll read a couple of mine, and then we'll read Glenda's. We'll see where it goes. This is one I don't think I've read before. It's a little spicier than I usually write, but no, what the heck. It's called Sexuality. Where the trail curves near the shore, I spy a wild rose climbing sensuously among the laurel branches. Stopping to look and smell, the world is suddenly openly sexual. The waves glisten like sweat on a lover's skin. The waving grasses tickle the wind. In distance, fog wraps around the body of Mount Tamalpais like a lover's arms. On the mountaintop, a little building stands erect as a nipple. Birds fall together in a love knot. My own body bounds along the path full of desire. Now even as passionate lava hardens in air and water, my ardor will recede on the shores of time. Yet the sinuous clouds above tell me love is always there, in the orgasmic body, in the subtle electricity of eternity. Any comments on that one? I guess not. This one's Not Alone. Watching waves come ashore, one after the other, is calming somehow. I begin wondering about my friend who has OCD. Is he trying to stay calm, doing the same action over and over? The waves are created by the wind pushing the water up. This produces a spinning action. I watch each wave meeting its predecessor coming back out. What a riotous conversation they have. I hope my friend meets someone when the wind in his mind spins him to break on the day, and they have a conversation, and he knows he is not alone. Oh, Glenda fell off. That's what happened. Hi, Glenda. You must have fallen off.
I got it. I had a problem with the sound. I couldn't hear you. Someone called me on my phone, and it muted you, and it wouldn't unmute you.
Oh yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, so I had to go all the way out and come right back in.
Oh gosh.
But I'm here now.
Yeah, you're back. Anyway, did you hear any of my poetry? Or
Not a bit.
I did. Oh my God. I read one of my spicier poems.
Darn, I missed it.
That one I wrote about sexuality. Did you read that one?
Oh, I think I've heard that one before.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, maybe I'll read it again.
Well, maybe I read it because it was in your book.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I won't read it again.
Oh, come on, read it again.
You want to hear it again? Okay.
Yeah, well, since I didn't hear it the first time.
Okay. Sexuality. Where the trail curves near the shore, I spy a wild rose climbing sensuously among the laurel branches. Stopping to look and smell, the world is suddenly openly sexual. The waves glisten like sweat on a lover's skin. The waving grasses tickle the wind. In distance, fog wraps around the body of Mount Tamalpais like a lover's arms. On the mountain top, a little building stands erect as a nipple. Birds fall together in a love knot. My own body bounds along the path full of desire. Now, even as passionate lava hardens in air and water, my ardor will recede on the shores of time. Yet the sinuous clouds above tell me love is always there, in the orgasmic body and in the subtle electricity of eternity.
Oh my.
Yeah. Well, you have to write one of those anyway, sometime. Well, let's see. I'll read one more little one of mine. Actually, I wrote this one a long time ago and I found it in some notes, so I stuck it in the new book called Poetry. When all the technology is sparking and smoking in the junkyards, a little girl will be scratching the ground with a stick. Poetry survives. Pictures on a smoky cave wall. Words breathed into the wind. A time before progress. We lived like birds, flying in our imagination, unfettered by logic, and science was metaphor. That time might be coming. Okay, let's read your poem, Glenda. I think you sent me one.
I sent you Memory Lane.
Memory Lane, okay. To find you here. Okay. This is by Glenda Reed, called Memory Lane. Memory Lane is a well-worn path of grassy footprints born of restless rain. I trod it often these days. It stretches behind me with many branches to lure me across a field of my past. It reminds me of buried treasure in my mind. My memory lane is shaded with the leaves of countless thought trees that were planted there. I like that, thought trees. I sit beneath them to rest in their comfort. A little girl with a book to read, then she's writing her poems to speak of her heart. I remember as I follow the path. I reach out and touch the leaves as I pass. Summon a picture in the eye of my soul. I savor each one like a sweet, sweet wine. Such pleasure to walk my memory lane. Each time a new memory to waken and see. How clever to have found this path to walk. This memory lane filled with blades of sword. I see my footprints from yesterday have crushed a few. They lie in the subtle shadow of time. That's a lovely line. They lie in the subtle shadow of time, pressed in the fertile soil of their words. But they'll be there tomorrow when I pass again. Yes, they'll be there tomorrow when I pass again. Another beauty, Glenda.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Wow, lovely. Yeah, I really like that one. Mary Lane. Now we got time to read some others. This is by David Hinton. He wrote a book about the desert. I wish I could say this desert to you, but I cannot say in words what I am, only what I am not, what occurs beyond me and is therefore unknowable. It's beautiful here, wide open, empty. Come with me. There is so much less to say here. I like that. We know ourselves by the questions we ask of things, and I want myself whole, probe further and further until my questions ask exactly what this desert asks of me. Let's see. Her naked body sunlit. It seems impossible on a perfectly ordinary afternoon like this. But is there anything sun is not capable of? Planetary orbits, weather, whole shimmering, food webs, these eyes gazing at her, even darkness or of shadow or death in my last few moments alive, the memory, her naked body, sun. Is they calling the sun naked? I guess that's what you say. I read more of him. It's elemental where earth and sky meet, that horizon vanishing mirror, deep in the eye, rivers flow through the vanishing mountains, range, and sunlight breaks into every possible color. I wander there on these routine afternoon walks, never quite arriving anywhere. It's another way back home. It's a little hard to read his, the way he writes them. Let's see, here's a William Stafford. He was part Native American, so he wrote about the Native Americans quite a bit. In the night desert, the Apache word for love twists and numbs the tongue. Uttered once clear, said never that word again. Cousin, you call, or sister, and one more word that spins in the dust, a talk flake chipped like obsidian. The girl who hears this flake and follows you into the dark, turns at a touch, the night desert forever behind her back. Universe is one place. Crisis, they call it, when the gentle wheat leans at the combine and the farm girl brings cool jugs wrapped in burlap slapping at her legs. We think, drinking cold water, looking at the sky. Sky is home, universe is one place. Crisis? City folks make such a stir. Farm girl away through the wheat. And one more. Before the big storm. You are famous in my mind. When anyone mentions your name, all the boxes marked 1930s fall off the shelves, and the orators on the 4th of July all begin shouting again. The audience of our high school commencement begin to look out the windows at the big storm. and I think of you in our play. Oh, helpless and lonely, crying. And your father is dead again. He was drunk, he fell. When they mention your name, our houses out there in the wind creak again in the storm, and I lean from our play. Wherever I am, to you, quiet at the edge of that town. All the world is blowing away. It is almost daylight. Are you warm? Sometimes I find him kind of difficult to figure out. Yeah. Here's a fun one by Neruda. I've read it before, but it's pretty fun. Ode to my socks. He wrote a whole bunch of odes. Maru Mori brought me a pair of socks, which she knitted herself with her sheepherder's hands. 2 socks as soft as rabbits. I slipped my feet into them as though into 2 cases knitted with threads of twilight and goatskin. Violent socks. My feet were 2 fish made of wool, 2 long sharks, sea blue shot through by 1 golden thread. 2 immense blackbirds, 2 cannons. My feet were honored in this way by these heavenly socks. They were so handsome. For the first time, my feet seemed to me unacceptable, like 2 decrepit firemen unworthy of that woven fire, of those glowing socks. Nevertheless, I resisted the sharp temptation to save them somewhere, as schoolboys keep fireflies, as learned men collect sacred texts. I resisted the mad impulse to put them in a golden cage, and each day give them birdseed and pieces of pink melon, like explorers in the jungle who hand over the very rare green deer to the spit and eat it with remorse. I stretched out my feet and pulled on the magnificent socks and then my shoes. The moral of my ode is this: beauty is twice beauty, and what is good is doubly good when it's a matter of 2 socks made of wool in winter.
I love that.
Isn't that amazing? He was such a wordsmith. Oh my God.
Makes me look at my socks and think, why aren't you more like them?
He read another ode about a watermelon. I'll read that next time. Okay, I have a roomie. I think I've read this one before. Chickpea to cook. A chickpea leaps almost over the rim of the pot where it's being boiled. Why are you doing this to me? The cook knocks him down with the ladle. Don't you try to jump out. You think I'm torturing you. I'm giving you flavor, so you can mix with spices and rice and be the lovely vitality of a human being. Remember when you drank rain in the garden? That was for this. Grace first, sexual pleasure, then a boiling new life begins, and the friend has something good to eat. Eventually, the chickpea will say to the cook, boil me some more. Hit me with this skimming spoon. I can't do this by myself. I'm like an elephant that dreams of gardens back in Hindustan and doesn't pay attention to his driver. You're my cook, my driver, my way into existence. I love your cooking. The cook says, I was once like you, fresh from the ground. Then I boiled in time and boiled in the body. 2 fierce boilings. My animal soul grew powerful. I controlled it with practices and boiled some more, and boiled once beyond that, and became your teacher. Well, let's read some more of Ursula Le Guin. I like her a lot. The Desert Crossing. A wrinkled, spotted, pallid hide stretched and sagging on a shack of bones was her house now, her shaky tent set up each day a little farther on into the plain of thorns and dunes. An awkward load to carry, so the way was always farther between the springs of water. The great silence lay behind each dune, like a lion with a woman's head. She sang in a voice like wind and sand, a long answer to the question that it did not ask. And this is Walking the Maze. The bright, broad earth dims to become a labyrinth in which I walk on feet that ache, grow numb, and yet must feel the way I take, stumbling me on where I can't see. Step by step they make the road. I'm not quite sure is there, unsure, unshod, the slow, afraid to fall. I go where all is now opaque to me. Does the way lead out or in? At the center or the door, will I be free? No choices left to make. I follow on the maze, whose gate and goal are mystery. Maybe a couple more by her. Desire and fear. A willingness to die is my desire, not of the mind alone, but of the weary heart and weakened bone. My fear is that the body, always wanting more, will clutch at flames of fire sooner than leave me free to go on through the open door. And one more, The Combat. On the farthest margin of old age, in thickets and quicksands of half-sleep, the fat gray serpent of desire wrestles with the thin tiger of my rage. The tiger's teeth meet in the snake, break, writhing backbone break. Ooh, a little heavier.
Conjures up an image.
Yeah. Let's see. Ancestry. I am such a long way from my ancestors now, in my extreme old age, that I feel more one of them than their descendant. Time comes round in a bodily way I do not understand. Age undoes itself. It plays the Ouroboros. I, the only daughter, have always been one of the tiny grandmothers, laughing at everything, uncomprehending, incomprehensible. Well, it's getting to be Mary time here. Let's see what she's got. This is Two Kinds of Deliverance, which is in 3 parts. Number 1. Last night the geese came back, slanting fast from the blossom of the rising moon down to the black pond. A muskrat swimming in the twilight saw them and hurried to the secret lodges to tell everyone. Spring had come. And so it had. By morning, when I went out, the last of the ice had disappeared. Blackbirds sang on the shores. Every year the geese, returning, do this. I don't know how. Number 2. The curtains opened, and there was an old man in a headdress of feathers, leather leggings, and a vest made from the skin of some animal. He danced in a kind of surly rapture in the trees and the fields far away. Began to mutter and suck up their long roots. Slowly they advanced until they stood pressed to the schoolhouse windows. Number 3. I don't know lots of things, but I know this. Next year, when spring flows over the starting point, I think I'm going to drown in the shimmering miles of it, and then one or two birds will fly over the threshold. As for the pain of others, of course it tries to be abstract, but then there flares up out of a vanished wilderness like fire, still blistering, the wrinkled face of an old Chippewa, smiling, hating us, dancing for his life. Okay, one more from Mary. Landscape. Isn't it plain the sheets of moss, except that they have no tongues with could lecture all day if they wanted about spiritual practice? Isn't it clear the black oaks along the path are standing as though they were the most fragile of flowers? Every morning I walk like this around the pond, thinking, if the doors of my heart ever close, I am as good as dead. Every morning, so far, I'm alive. And now the crows break off from the rest of the darkness and burst up into the sky, as though all night they had thought of what they would like their lives to be, and imagined their strong, thick wings. Oh, that was pretty. Okay, Glenda and Barbara.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. What a lovely poem you had. Wow. And let's see. I'm going to end this now. And cool. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully with more
Have,
company.
have a great week.
Thanks. Very
Yeah, you too,
great.
Barbara. Have a good. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow for dinner, huh, Barbara?
Text me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to end off. All right. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Glenda.